The fourth pull, or fifth pull, finally cleared up, changed a little slappy. Changes by itself. We got what it started off with a cold tire, what it did with a warm tire. Our throttle position's only going to 97.8. There's our throttle position curve with me giving it full tilt. So it only goes full throttle right there at the top. I'll overlay that with RPMs at the end of the video. But fuel changes alone through the power commander didn't net any more horsepower per se, but it did make it change what it's doing up there. So in general, even though it's reading lean, it really doesn't give a shit. Makes a little bit more power with it lean rather than rich. But let's get into the ECU and extract some real power out of this motherfucker, because that is not what I normally see out of this generation R1, especially with the cat gone and a full acro in it. Sorry, I just said full acro. It is a 3/4 acro. gasoline. Let's get some E85 in this motherfucker. Before and after on gasoline, there's peak to where it reaches the speed limiter. Made 160, now we're making 176. Do the math on that. All of that's gains, a lot of that's all throttle position restriction, and then all that after big obvious gains up there. Of course, we got a speed limiter of 180 and now we're doing 200 mile an hour. How about them apples? And she's beautiful red. I love red. We're on E85 now. Let you guys see the last run. Here we are, final results. 192.5 on the E85 and 185 on the gasoline. We made 197.6 on the multi-gear pull with E85 in it with the ram air turned on, and stock it made 160. Usually I see about 170 out of these, but for some reason this one was a little bit lower than usual. And I did pick up a few after a few pulls, and I was running out of fuel in the tank on that multi-gear pull. But it did just fine. It still actually ran fat, which is weird. But the Flamethrower definitely full tank. Torque reading on the stock pull power I was pulling ignition off of the power commander, so it wigged out a little bit. Every time the bike wiggles, it throws a connection. But we had around about 70 foot-pounds of torque beforehand, and now we got 90 foot-pounds of torque on the E85. Or sorry, I take that back. That's 90 on the multi-gear pull. That one's we got to go off of the rear wheel. So we got 87 foot-pounds of torque on the E85 and 85 foot-pounds of torque on the gasoline. So there's a beautiful bike. I gotta put the plastics back on, and see you in the next vidget.